All right. Yes, it's a beautiful. Mr. Davidson, how do you feel about the conversation tonight?
Yeah, I feel good. Thank you. Even though I've lost contact for a couple of minutes or thereabout due to the connectivity, but it's good to be back.
All right, it's good to have you back on the show. Thank you very much. Remember, this is the Corporate Life Show with McAden. This show takes place every Friday evening, and I will always be here as your host to discuss these wonderful topics. That will be coming to your screen. Tonight, we're discussing empowering parents to unlock their children's and full potential in this summer for future success. What do you think about the topic, Mr. Davidson?
Well, I think it's a very important topic, considering the fact that we are in a season or a period whereby parents and children, or like I used to say, because I'm in the school. So I think it's a very strategic period for such a discussion like this to come on board, so that parents can see, can have insights into, you know, various ways in which they can help their children leverage these skills to empower themselves ahead of the future.
All right, talking about empowering parents to help their children get prepared for the future. Where we're going straight to the questions because we have quite a number of them, and we want to make sure that we tackle as many of them as possible. Then, audience may want to ask us some questions. Please feel free to drop your comments or ask your questions as we continue in today's conversation. Remember, the topic is empowering parents to unlock their children's full potential in this summer for future success. And yes, for future success, very important for future success. So, question one, Mr. Davison, how can parents encourage their children to explore new interests and hobbies during the summer period?
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Davison, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you now. I lost you a few moments ago.
Okay, the question is right there on the screen for you. Please, can you just respond to the question?
Okay.
All right, it seems we are battling with network issues today. I do hope that this network provider are able to help us sustain the momentum
Yeah.
for this conversation tonight. Mr.
Okay.
David, back
Yes.
to you.
So, the question says, a couple of ways, guys. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, go ahead, please. I can hear you.
All right. Yeah. There are a number of ways by which parents can encourage their children to explore new interests and hobbies during summer break, and then it's just a matter of offering a variety of activities. During the school period, all they get to do, 90% or 80 to 90% of what they get to do, has to do with their academics. Because that's place emphasis or curricular activities, skill development, and all of that. So in summer periods like this is when parents should use to encourage their children to actually develop certain skills. So you can offer a variety of activities such as art, sports, music. You can allow children, choose what excites them. Another thing there is this, when it comes to engaging children, it's all about what the child or what the children in question really desire, what they have interest in. Let them explore their areas of interest, and then as well as we also try to introduce them to new environments. Such periods like this is when parents can encourage their children or lead their children to go to places like resorts, excursion sites, have a trip and do a bit of tourism. Even some may even like to travel out of their immediate geographical location just to see other places, because these are still part of learning. And then they can also schedule time for different kind of exploration and all that. So these and other interesting ways are the ways parents can encourage their children to explore new interest and hobby during the summer break. Yeah.
All right, this conversation is just kicking off, and then we are going deep and deeper as we explore the next question quickly because of our time. Our time is fast spent, and we apologize for every delay. So question two: what are some productive ways for children to spend their free time, such as volunteering and internship? What would you suggest?
Okay, such as volunteering and internships, right? Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
For me, I feel they can do. They can engage in, researches, you know, on local volunteer opportunities. There are various things that should, especially maybe because I focus more on teenagers and all of that, because I know that. So like we used to encourage them in my school during the summer activity. For instance, now um we are not offering summer program as you would have in many schools that would love to. Okay, we have summer activities and all that. Why? Because we are a rounded school. So what we try to do for students while they were in school, we have an enriched base for their extracurricular activities, skill development, ranging from tailoring, textile and clothing and textile, tailoring, down to photography, down to cosmetology. They learn how to do makeups and all of those things. Aside from the regular extracurricular activities that, are very common, talking about sports and, some other things like drama, vis-a-vis all those things that you have there. So now during the summer, we try to, in fact, we have to send a memo to parents that these skills that these students have acquired during the course of the session, they should give them an opportunity to go for internships, research areas, or even local volunteer opportunities where they can put these skills to practice, because what we are looking, the future of work is basically on experience. A time is coming whereby you're having postgraduate, I mean, you're having a PhD. It may not matter anymore, because what would really matter is the experience that an individual possesses and the skill that an individual has been able to own over a time and gain mastery in them. So they can also encourage, participation in internships. I mentioned that. Then they can, as well as consider skill building, summer camps where they will have opportunity to put their skills, the skills that they've learned or acquired into different kind of expression, and then they fine tune them. Then for families, they can involve children in family projects and entrepreneurship. When you
Mm.
talk about entrepreneurship, it doesn't necessarily have to be about adulthood, because sometimes when we look at the context entrepreneurship, we think that, oh, it's for adults are the ones that goes into business. Funny enough, or maybe I should shock you, in our school, because we run a K to 12 kind of school. We have a section where we have early years learners, elementary learners, and then but I oversee the secondary aspects or section of the school. In in all the categories that we have, we try to encourage students to engage in real life activities. Sometimes we call it entrepreneurship week. There is a week whereby students will come, and then some of the things, artifacts that they've been able to make, maybe some items that were able, craft sessions and the different club activities they have. They put those things together. We have a day where we have more like trade fair, and we have parents come to purchase some of those things. And these students, including the ones, some things, which they have, which they have, some of them may not have developed some things, but they're just interested in trading. So they may go and acquire certain things that they believe that would add value to parents and people that will be coming around, and they will display it, and then they'll begin to canvas parents. Oh, you need to buy this, you need it, you get, and you can, very, very interesting. You understand? We may sometimes it appears funny,
Wow.
but you never can tell the kind of the kind of impact that this has eventually, this makes eventually in the life of these children future. So these and some other ways are the some of the productive ways for children to spend their free time,
I can
you know,
bet
during
I can bet that
holiday while volunteering and
that
internship.
little exercise will go a long way to create sales masters in the future, product maker in the future,
Yeah,
solution maker in the future, and that
sure,
is one of the reasons why we're having this conversation
sure.
tonight. And because it's beyond school activities, parents have more to do for their
Yeah,
children's success, especially when it comes to relating with the future outcome. So the conversation continues. Remember, this is the Corporate Life Show with McAden. I'm your host. My name is Makati Adeni McAden. You can call me by that. I am having this conversation, of course, already with Mr. Davidson Lucas and Mrs. Kolawole Funke, but yet to join us on the show tonight. And I do hope that you are getting the best. And if you have been getting something at all from tonight's conversation, please drop a comment in the comment section. Let's get to know what you feel about the conversation so far. We quickly want to go to the next question because of our time. Question three. Mr. Lucas, I hope you're there with me.
yes, I'm here with you.
Okay, thank you. Question three: how can parents help their children set and achieve goals? Because of anything you want to do must come with a goal, must come with a purpose, must come with a plan. Otherwise, it will just be all for nothing. So, how can parents help their children set and achieve goals for this summer? And such, I mean, such as reading a certain number of books or what, learning a new skill.
Okay, well, I think for this it's very simple because goal setting is very, very essential. When an individual set out to do or set out on or embark on a quest without having a goal in mind, he or she might end up, wasting, his or her time and, valuable resources. So for children, basically, it's always good to collaborate for parents to collaborate on realistic and specific goals. I mentioned specific. What exactly do you hope to help? I mean, do parents hope to help the child or the children achieve? And how can we do that? It's all about simplifying the SMART goals. We call it SMART, SMART, SMART. So the S meaning what? Specific. You have to be specific. What exactly? Okay, this summer, this and these are the things that you are going to achieve, that we are going to help you achieve. And when it's a matter of the parents imposing these goals on the child, because remember, like I said earlier on, it must be something that the child that is in question is interested in. Once there is no interest, the goal has been defeated in the first place. So the parents should be able to collaborate with the child to set realistic and specific goals, and then to also help the child to break the goals into manageable tasks, because the way an adult is going to manage the planning and implementation of their goals, you can't expect a child to do that. So that is why simplicity is very, very essential. All right, this summer, oh, you just say, oh, John, um, we're going to set a goal for you. We're going to set a goal together for your summer activity. What would you like to do? Oh, Daddy, I think I would like to go. I would like to go mountaineering. I like to go climbing mountains. Oh, you want to climb mountains? So how do we achieve that? So the first thing that we identify. So now, where is the nearest mountain that you would like to climb? Of course, the child will not want to say Kilimanjaro or Mount Everest. You have to look at um, consider a hill, somewhere, something close to a mountain, close by, or maybe outside their vicinity that could, give some kind of stir up the level of interest. Okay, so if you are to do that, so what are you going to do? What are the next things that you need to put in place? So you have to be measuring. So how will you measure your success? Okay, Dad, I need to. I think I'm trying to see if I can get as high as 20 feet. So that is measurable. So if the child is going to climb, the child is setting the goal that, okay, I'm going to climb up as high as 20 feet. That's just an example. It could be 50 feet, it could be 100 feet, depending on what is available. Okay, so that's measurable. We're going. And then, is it achievable? So we're moving from S to M to A. So is it achievable? What are the factors to consider? You look at the child, you look at the age, you consider the age of the child together. You do that together. You consider the tactile strength, the personality. You have to look at, does this child has the grit personality that could that could help him achieve this goal and all of that. So it may not be mountaineering, it may not be climbing hills, or it could be anything at all. I just use that as an example. Collaborating with the child to set realistic and specific goals, break the goals into manageable tasks, create a reward system for milestones. Oh, you set a goal for 50 feet to climb, but by the time the child is getting to like 30 feet or 20 feet or 30 feet, you're getting tired. Oh, Dad, I'm not sure I can do this anymore. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, whatever. All right, good. You've come this far. You've actually done good. You can always take it up, some other time. So you know that, okay, the next time there's going to be an opportunity for the child to go mountaineering, the child will be looking at, okay, the last time I was on 30 feet. This time around, to create a system, and then also regularly reviewing and adjusting plans. The plans that was put together the first time the child went mountaineering or rock climbing may not have been effective enough to that plan for the next activity. It becomes easier and simpler. So in summary, parents can help their children set and achieve goals for summer by collaborating with them to set realistic and specific goals, as well as breaking the goals into manageable tasks, creating a reward system for milestones achieved. Because some parents can be very hyper. You don't even know how to do anything. What kind of, you're just wasting my time. Oh, we need to pipe down on that. The morale of the child. We need to help them. Every little effort they put in, let's celebrate their milestones and encourage them, review their previous plans and improve it moving forward so that they can do better next time.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And like I mentioned earlier on, today's conversation is very important and very crucial. And that is why we are looking at this conversation from the perspective of a man, and then a woman will be joining us in the conversation. And please help me, join me. Welcome, Mrs. Kolawole Funke. Will be joining us in the conversation tonight, and she's already here in the studio and ready to be with us on the show tonight, and we are excited to have you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Kolawole. How do you feel about the conversation so far? I know you've been battling with some technical glitches over there, but how do you feel? Oh. have to continue with the conversation until she returns back to us. Then we'll introduce her again. Okay, I think she's back. I think she's back. So let me just quickly bring her up so that she can share her thoughts about the conversation tonight. So, Mrs. Kolawole, thank you for joining us tonight. How do you feel about the conversation so far? Miss Kolawole, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Glad to be here today.
Welcome on
We're
board,
also
Mrs.
glad to have
Kolawole.
you. So, how do you feel about the conversation so far? What is your thought about the topic of consideration for tonight's conversation here at the Corporate Live Show?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me, please?
No, I didn't hear your question.
Okay, what do you think about the topic we're considering tonight? We've been considering parents, empowering parents
Yeah.
to unlock their children's full potential in the summer for future success. What do you think about the topic we're considering for our conversation tonight?
Okay, I've been following the conversation on how to help your children maximize the summer.
I guess the network is not friendly at her hand, but then we must continue with the show. Maybe when she join us and she can confirm her network stability, then we can hear our opinion for. I mean, let's know what she thinks about the conversation. I mean, the topic of conversation for tonight's discussion here on the show. Question four, quickly. I would like you, Mr. Davidson, to be very fast because our time is fast spent. Our time is fast spent, and we have quite a number of questions to still tackle on the show. So, question four: what are some ways for parents to support their children in developing a growth mindset and embracing challenges? Because you mentioned it earlier on that we should not suppress their creativity; we should actually support them. So, what are some ways for parents to actually support children in developing a growth mindset and embracing challenges?
Okay, yeah. Some of the ways that parents can support their children in developing a growth mindset is by one, like I mentioned earlier, and very important, is to praise their efforts, not just outcomes. You know, there is tendency for parents to want to focus on the outcome. Okay, imagine a child that put an effort into doing something, and then just because the parent has an expectation of how he or she expects, you know, the child to come out, but eventually the child did not, or probably did not meet up to the parents' expectation, does not mean that the child has not made some effort, which should be praised and appreciated. So parents should learn to praise efforts and not just outcomes. And also they should learn to encourage problem solving and perseverance. um, when there is an issue, the focus should be on solving the problem and helping the child, you know, maneuver through the maze of issues in order to solve the problem, and then helping them to develop grit and resilience in the face of challenges and all. And then another way is to help is to share their personal growth experiences. No matter what, they need to learn from their parents. You can't keep criticizing someone, you can't criticizing a child, or wanting to expect a child to, you know, weave through some challenges when the child has not seen you as a model with which, you know, he or she can, you know, emulate. So share your own personal, the parents should share their own, you know, personal growth experiences, and then this will encourage and motivate the child, you know, to want to keep, you know, developing and, you know, growing. And then lastly, you should provide constructive feedback and focus on learning. Constructive feedback in the sense that, okay, yes, a child may not have met, um, um, may not have been able to meet up with the expectation. But like I said earlier on, the child has put in some effort and probably done some things that is, worthy of, commending. So constructive feedback is like, oh, you talk about what the child is good at doing, what the child has done well, even if it is just one thing out of 10. Focus on that first, and then when you have praised the child, then you can now talk about, oh, you need to work on this. Don't say you are bad at doing this, you're not even good for anything, all your effort, everything, you're just wasting time, like some parents would do. So rather than being negative, let's be positive and feed forward. Okay, I think that you can do this better. Next time when you want to do this, I think it will help you to get a better result than what you got now if you did it this way, this way, this way. So that's constructive way of giving children feedback and encouraging them to keep focus and learning. Thank you. Okay. Are you there, Mr. McCarthy? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I can't hear Makati. Maybe he's having network issue.
Yeah, I think so. All right. Welcome on board. So while we're waiting for him to come up. So yes, what do you think so far about the program? And then the last question, I believe you may have one or two inputs to add to there.
Yes, I appreciate the points you have raised so far.
Yeah, Mrs. Kolawole, I'm referring.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes, talking about how to cultivate growth mindset in our children. The first thing is to let the child know who they are, the place of self-awareness, to know your self-worth. And
Mm,
then the parents not focusing
mm,
on the result, but the process. Because at the long run, it is
yeah,
the process that will be the habit that the child will build even in the future to achieve greater excellence. But if they're always after the success or the result, the end result, they can cut corner. And when you cut corner, you achieve the results, but you don't go through the process. It's like eating the hot yam, like they always tell us
mm,
when we are young, that if you eat your food when it is hot, your tongue can
yeah.
be burnt. And they will always say that ojú àpá kò lè jọ ojú ara. The scars will be there forever, and you tell the children the story of, oh, I remember this
Yeah,
case sometimes ago. So going through the process builds resilience in the child, and these are life skill
yeah,
that is needed as they are growing
mm,
into the adulthood. So that's what I want to add.
I agree
Thank
with
you.
you.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you. Hope you can hear me
All
now,
right, welcome
please.
back, Mr. McCarthy.
Yes, the network
Yes, I
has
Yes, we
been
can
can.
hear you.
so good, so wonderful, so good and so wonderful. So let's quickly move on to the next question. And thank you very much for joining us, Mrs. Kolawole. At last, we are able to
Thank you.
scale through the order of the technical challenges, and then the network also supporting that. And we want to quickly move to the next question because of our time. Our time is very, I mean, far gone and far spent. So we want to go straight to question 5. And I want Mrs. Kolawole to address this question. because you're just joining us, and would like to hear your more of, I mean, advice from your hand and regarding
Can
this
barely hear
area. So
you.
question five
Your
says, how can, hope you can hear me, please.
Yes, go ahead. We are hearing.
Okay, question five says, how can parents help their children stay
can anyone
engaged
hear me?
with
Yes, we
um
are hearing you.
we can hear you, Mr. Davidson. We can hear you. Okay, so
Hello, can
question
anyone
five,
hear
I'm
me,
going on
please?
with question five. How can parents help their children stay engaged with learning, such as through educational camps or online resources, while balancing their career path?
Okay, thank you for that question. Like we know that summer like this is opportunity to build the child. So is the education today now, like we know this our 21st century is no longer focusing on math and English, the problem solving skill, critical thinking skill. So having this holiday, a parent can help a child grow their learning skill through this educational camp. Take for instance now, like the one the children are doing, they call it 30 days challenge. In this 30 days challenge, they are going to learn public speaking, presentation skill, how to summarize a book. So at the end of the day, you will see that the child is not just reading alone, is learning to have critical thinking skill. So parents can help the children during this holiday to engage in learning resources, especially the online resources. Like we know now that internet is at our fingertips. There's nothing you are looking for that you don't have an answer to. But as parents, there's what we call schedule and structures. For everything to be balanced, there must be adequate plan. That okay, you have set the goal that my child is going to read this book throughout this summer. It may be one chapter per day. As the child is reading, you ask the child summarize this, then do the PowerPoint, because you know that the present age they must know how to type and do short presentation. So you can help your child to develop this skill and be engaged productively, because you know children, if you leave them to themselves, they can be distracted. You put time to a particular task, that okay, between 8 and 9 this is what you are to do, 9 to 10 this is another thing to achieve. Close monitoring, because sometimes you always feel the 24 hour is too short, how do I achieve all this? But with proper planning and putting right structures in place, you can achieve that. And as parents, we need to support our children to maximize this holiday period. Thank you.
Okay. Um. All right. Mr. McCarthy, are you there?
All right, sorry, I am back. I hope you can hear me, please. Can I get feedback from you?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, the network has been wonderful over here. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know what to do with the network, but can you hear me, please? Can I be sure
It's
that you can
same.
hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
it's same everywhere. I can hear you. Mm.
Okay, I guess Mr. Kolawole has responded to that question five, but then because I don't want to repeat the question, but I want us to just move on and quickly wrap up the conversation tonight. The network has been dealing with us wonderfully, and we want to just finish up with the nice conversation so that we can uh, rest from the struggle of the network. So, question six, I would like Mr. Davidson to actually take charge of question six, and question six is about Still,
So I believe you have the question 6, right? Sir, to save the time, the network is off on his own hand. Can you hear me?
This network.
Mr. Davidson, did you hear me?
No, I didn't
Mr.
hear you,
Davidson, can
but
you
I
hear me,
can hear
please?
you now. I can hear you now. You went off. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, please go on and respond to the question, please.
Okay, so what's the next question?
No.
I still have number 5 on the screen. Okay, so opportunities for children to develop important life skills over the summer. Yes, I think parents needs to assign age appropriate chores. You know, when children need to engage them to acquire, the necessary skills, domestic skills to be relevant back home and then wherever it is that they find themselves. They also need to teach time management through planning activities, you know. So it's always good to plan whatever it is, whatever the activity that they having in mind to carry out, help the child. Or it's always good for parents to help the children to maximize time by planning. This and this is what you are supposed to do between so time and so time. So if you take off so time, how for how long will it take you, or I mean, for how long will it take you to achieve so task, or to finish so task before you move to the next one? And then are you having a break time? Once you have a break time, so after your break time, what are you doing next? So time management and planning is also very essential. That is an essential skill that parents need to help children develop. And then they also need to help to encourage them to cook and manage personal schedules. We are in an age whereby it is no longer, it is now obsolete when we sure that our female counterparts will not find that funny these days. So, but of course, everyone needs to be responsible for themselves. So if we say that it's only the female that needs to enter the kitchen, so what if a child goes, for instance, a child finishes and leaves the parents, finishes the nursery school, primary school, secondary school, maybe all this while he stays with the parents, and then now had to leave the parents to go to higher institution where he has some level of liberty and will have to fend for himself. So for how long does that, let me say a boy, because the focus is on the male gender now, for how long will that boy keep eating from mama puts when it gets to a point? And then considering the kind of economy that Nigeria is now, oh, even myself as I have to cost and see, is this something that I can manage? So cooking skill, a life, it's an economic management skill now for everybody. So not just for dad or minds watch how things are being done. To also introduce them to self-care routines, how to take care of themselves. how to wash their undies, how to wash their personal if their environment, the housemaid or the weekly house caretaker to do all of those things useful in the future. A time access to people that will come around and take care of those things for them. So what would their fate be? So these are periods where students, or rather children, can leverage on the time available for them to be able to develop some of these skills in order for them to be relevant for themselves and others in the future. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much,
Yeah,
sir, for
Funke,
those points.
you may want to
They are
say
very,
something.
very
Yeah,
important. No, you have points. And just like you have mentioned, having the structures, the schedule, and especially that cooking skill
yeah,
you mentioned, is a big deal
yeah,
for our children
mm,
presently, because most parents always believe, I don't want my children to suffer, they suffer, I suffer, let the maid be doing everything. And indirectly they are empowering the maid with this essential executive functioning skill, whereas their own child is lacking in this important
I'm
skill.
not.
So helping the
Mm,
children to focus on learning the cooking skill is very important, because a child that don't know how to
yeah,
cook will lack many virtue, especially patience, perseverance, because the process of cooking is not just you start now and it's ready now. You need to follow the process step by step. So it's very important for our children to be exposed to this training from home as early as possible. There's one of these documentary I watch online. Indian children at age 3, age 4, they are toddlers. They have their own kitchen. They are doing everything by themselves. But look at our own. We say, they are small. Leave them. They are still small children. No. Train a child. Is a child that need the training. It's not when they are already grown. And then Yoruba will say, Eja Gbigbe is not easy to bend because they already grown. So is the earlier we start
yeah,
to inculcate all the skill in our children, the better they are in future.
yeah.
And not that alone, problem solving skill.
You're very
We should always
correct.
allow them to think, not providing solution. We call it bailing out the child. Any small thing. Hey, mommy, I can't do this thing. Say, do like this,
Yeah,
do like this. We should ask them, what do you think will be the way out? What if asking children that question, what if we
mm,
made them to think of the way out? And indirectly they are building the skill of problem solving, critical thinking, and that will help them as they go on in
yeah,
life. And all these are essential skills that they need
yeah,
for productivity as they are growing, and not just now, even in the
mm,
future. And the same thing with creativity. You don't shut the child up. Most time they have
yeah,
many questions. And some of us parents, we are tired, like, we'll keep quiet. Your questions is too much. No, allow them.
mm.
As they're asking the question,
You're
provide
very
answer.
correct.
Those one that you don't have answer now, tell them that I'll find out. I'll bring the answer later. But
Yeah,
when you shut them
you're
down
very
today,
correct.
tomorrow they will not even come to you with their question again. And when they don't have question, you are killing
Exactly.
the curiosity that can bring the creativity out of the
Mm.
child. And by the time you kill the curiosity, you kill
Both
the
their curiosity.
creativity. Nothing is remaining again. And how will the child emerge to be the person he is to be or she to be? And that is very important for us as parents. Encourage creativity. Let's don't build them out in any situation. Ask them the question, what if you do it like this? What if this way? What if that way? Use this other approach, and all these skills will help them. And like you mentioned, independence. Some of these children, they are too dependent on the parents. Mommy this, mommy that. No, little by little assist them. There's what we call navigation skill. A child that cannot just go from one street to the other is always scared, like, it must be in the car, the maid must follow the child out. They will learn navigation skill. They will not know how to find their ways. But by the time you take them through the first day, the second day, then you allow them to go on their own. That way they will build confidence, and they also have self-awareness of things happening around them. And this navigation skill is needed in every area of their life. So I think we have done justice to that question number 6. How parents can help their children develop important life skill like time management. By having schedule, you have the plan, and then you follow your time per work. You put a particular work for a particular time, and you're able to achieve it. The same thing with independence skill. And also self-care. You know that you must take care of yourself. There's what we call meditation and reflection. Yes, the mindfulness activity helps you to be aware of what you are going through and to bring out the best in you. And the same thing applies to the children. Let them stay mindful, and it will help them as they grow. So the other question before me here is, how can parents encourage their children to reflect on their experiences and learning from the previous school year and set goal for the upcoming year? Like, we know this is the end of the session. Another session will be starting by September. As parents, you have to review their performances. Like, you have their results, the end of the session results. One can check that, number one, how was the performance of these children in the results last term? What are the area of weakness? Maybe the child is having 80, 90 in some subject, but is having 50, 60 in some other subjects. So as parents, you go through that. Oh, my dear, you in this subject that you're having 90, how did you get it? What are the things that you like about the subjects? Just give them that opportunity to express themselves. Okay, so the child will help express himself or herself that, I like this subject, because this teacher is always coming to our level, like, is a teacher that play with them and then that teach them to the best of their understanding. And the other one is maybe, the note is too much. When I'm reading like this, I'm just tired. That's why I couldn't even finish reading it. Then you will now understand that child that, attention span of this child is low somehow. The notes that were voluminous, those are the one the child is not doing well. The other one that the teacher is very friendly and goes straight to the point, they were able to catch up. So when you review the past performance and the process, you will be able to identify that, now those ones that the note is too much, you need to get a notepad or a jotter, because from the scheme of work, you have the topic, the subtopic, the objective of the learning. So the child will be bringing out important points as they go on. And then from that important point, you now know that, each lesson, as you're having them, you'll be reading them. So the child will know against next session that, I already know that this subject is for voluminous. I need to start reading and be bringing out summary in my jotter. That will help the child to do better in the last year, the new academic year. Then another important thing is to set your goal and work towards it, because last academic year has come and gone. Maybe you had, in the goal you set last year, I want to have all A's. Like some of our children, they will put everything 90, 100, 100, 100. And at the end of the day, you are having maybe 3 A's and then 5 B and 2 C's. So the one with B and C's will be the one you focus on during this holiday. Review the questions. Like, we know that learning is from known to unknown. Those ones you have already learned, you build on them. Go through the questions. Those ones you miss, what are my mistakes? What are the error? By the time the child is able to correct it, then the next session coming, You can get resources. Yes, you can get past questions, get textbook. As the child is setting the goal for the new academic year, the child can also engage in familiarizing himself or herself with the new scheme for the new class. And through that, when you start the new school year, those things will not be new to the child again, because the child has been able to review all those schemes of work through the textbook. And now that we're at home, you have access to internet, you can have the pictures and the diagram that will make the learning more simplified. So if you do things the same way, you can't expect new results, is an adage. That is, if you continue to do things in the same old way, it will still be the old results. But for you to have a new result, you must explore new way. That's the essence of review. You check the past experience, you reflect on it, remove the negative, adopt the positive, then put a new strategy. You'll be surprised at the amazing results that will be the outcome in the next academic session. So parents can help their children to reflect by creating time to go through the results, ask the children what happened, why is this one the best, why are you having 100 here and here you are having 50, the same child. Then the child will tell you that, oh, I like this subject like this, and then the other one is so boring, and then the teacher is this and that. Then you'll be able to correct the mistake and then have a better result in the coming year. Thank you. Another question here: what are some ways parents can help their children explore potential career paths? What are some ways that parents can help their children explore some career paths of their interest during this summer? You know, number one, every child has a particular talent. Yes, every child, even every individual, not limited to children, all of us. I always say, just as our fingerprint is different, so also there's a particular purpose for each child to achieve. There's a particular problem that you are meant to solve. Let me put it that way. So you are unique in your own space. You are unique in your own space. You are unique in your own own generation. So as we have now, is an opportunity for parents to encourage the children to develop their talents. Let me take for example, some of us that are outspoken, they say, that child, they can talk and talk and talk. Every time he's always talking. You'll be like, yeah, this child dey talk too much. Oh, no, don't say the child talks too much. That child is an evangelist, is a speaker. I mean the MC. Public speaking skill, like we all know, that in our generation is very, very important. So you work on that skill, because that's the gift of extra that that child has. Like some of us will say, that child is too playful, he's hyperactive. Oh, that child that is too playful that you are looking at now has a creativity skill. That energy can be channeled positively. And that one that you are looking at, is so quiet, is always sitting down in one corner. Oh, there are so many things going on in the brain of that child. Such people have many things that is going on in their mind. Those ones that are silent, they are full of words inside that they cannot express. So as parents, you encourage them to develop their area, their talents during this holiday. When you encourage them, it will help them in their personal development and self-discovery. Because you know, the earlier we start, the better. Yes, if a child discover their talent early and the parents help them, it will help them to reach their journey faster. You know, talent, there are things that we do with joy. Nobody compels you to do it. You do it with ease. And every child has that privilege, they has that talent in them to do what they are doing, and without compassion. Just as somebody that likes to talk now, he will not be bored, and at the end he will have the best of the training. And then like somebody that likes to speak now, from the speaking, and then they will get the best. Okay, thank you. Have a great day. For now, the other speakers are not around, so we'll be stopping here. Yes, and I believe from the little we have done, you have also learned one or two things. Thank you all, and do have a great day. Bye for now. Thank you.